Hey, what's good, y'all? J Boogie in full effect mode. Bun down is a sound. You know how we do. This is, of course, the Lounge Presents. And back in the lounge space today, we are graced with the presence of this monster right here. This man goes by the name of I Am God.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me back on the platform. Salute, salute, much love.
Oh, respect, man. Respect, respect. Yeah, definitely. If you haven't already caught the first episode that we had I Am God on, then definitely tap back into that, check it out, and you can catch up to what we talk about today. And of course, it is I Am God that we've got in lounge space. How you doing, man? All gravy?
I'm good, bro. Can't complain. Can't complain, man. Living and maintaining.
Hey, that's all we gotta do, man. We gotta maintain,
Yes, sir.
right?
Absolutely.
Maintain through all adversity and through all joys, right?
That's facts. That's facts. How you feeling today, man?
Oh man, I can't complain. I can't complain. Life is good. Life is good. The family is alive, healthy. You know what I'm
Great to hear.
saying?
Yeah, that's
That
great to hear. Absolutely.
yeah, like if that's good, man, leave me alone.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep.
How's the family, dog?
Man, good. The kids just got out of school. I got two boys, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They just got out of school, so they chilling at their mama crib right now. So I'm solo dolo, you know what I'm saying?
How old are your boys again?
So my old is 17 and my youngest is 13.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, boys, you know what? I feel like having boys was kind of a blessing because I don't know how to be able to handle girls.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I've got two boys too, and
Yeah.
I just know I don't know. It just you don't have that you don't have that extra stress.
Sometimes I wish that I had a daughter to like kind of. Hopefully, she would have mellowed me out and evened me out a little earlier. Because
Mm,
I still got a nice little level of impatience that I need to work on. So sometimes I wish I had a daughter. And just you know, women they so beautiful. I have a real
yep.
affinity for women, so I kind of think like, man, looking back at it now that I have two children, like I probably would have loved to like participate in raising like a young girl and
Yeah, that's
watch her grow
true.
to be a
I
woman, a
can't front.
beautiful woman. So yeah, yeah, I miss that. Like not miss it. You can't miss what you never had. But sometimes
Right.
I wish I had a daughter. Yeah,
Yeah. There's some truth to that. I just, you know, and it probably like puts me in line with like how many other guys before me have had daughters, is because I just think back to it. I was like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, oh,
yeah. But that's something that you got to go through. You know what I'm saying? You already know if you got
yeah,
a girl, like that's the boys is just something that's just an issue you gonna have to deal with. But
yeah.
hopefully you can give her that game and she takes heed, and and everything be good.
Let me ask you something off top. To,
Hmm.
to be to be a parent in 2025, I mean, it's a whole nother. You know what I mean? Our parents dealt with raising us in their way, and we're dealing with raising our kids our way, which is, I'm sure, like a far cry from what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you worry. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But you try to trust in the fact that I raised you good. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
that should manifest, right?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, like, because I'm going through it, so to speak, with my oldest, and it's kind of like I see a
Mm,
lot of my ways when I was his age and him, and it's like mainly like laziness. You know what I'm saying? Like he don't want to fully apply himself, and I'm like, bro, this shit could really haunt you once you get my age and even younger. Like once you out there
yeah,
on your own and you've built this bad habit of not fully applying yourself and not
yeah,
showing up as prepared as you can for yourself,
yeah,
like that shit will haunt you. It'll come back and bite you in the ass later on. So that's my struggle with him right now. Like my youngest, he all A's and B's, and for the most part, my oldest, he good. You know what I'm saying? He get his little C here, his F here, but
yeah,
it's not because he don't understand. It's because of a lack of interest and a lack of dedication and self-discipline, and that's what really frustrated me the most. But
yeah.
he gotta bump his head and earn his lumps like how I did. So hopefully he shake up out of that. But that's my thing with him. I'm trying to break him out of these lazy habits and actually like get him to build positive habits, you know what I'm saying, to take with him into his man or into his adulthood.
Yo, that's bare facts, dog. That's bare facts. It's funny that you mentioned that because it's kind of funny when you see them exhibit, a trait that came from you, and you're like, damn.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Like it's definitely like looking in the mirror sometimes. And it's like
Yeah.
I always say like I probably would even like get along with my younger self. So I try not to let that spill over into my relationship with him. But it's like sometimes like just be want to throw his ass in the Ford Nelson somewhere, man. Like but no, I love him though. Like I love him to life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest, man. I feel like I it, it isn't for it doesn't apply like across the board. You know what I mean? Because some people choose not to have kids, and that's on them. That works
Mhm.
for them. Hey, live. You know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
I feel like fatherhood is like the single greatest gift I've ever been given in life.
Okay. I feel like fatherhood definitely contributed heavily to my growth process. Had it not been for
Exactly.
my kids, like who knows where I'd be right now. Knowing that I had children and I had little human beings that I had to care for and raise and show the proper way, that really kind of sobered me up, so to speak, when I was younger. It made me straighten up quicker
Straight up.
than I probably would have had I not had kids. So I definitely I'm definitely thankful for parenthood, and I struggled with it in the beginning, and I still
Hmm.
struggle now sometimes. Like I'm not
Yo,
gonna sit
we
there and
all
act like
do.
I'm a
We
perfect
all
father,
do.
but yeah, it definitely I look for the good in things, and it
Yeah.
definitely helped me grow. So my thing to give back to them is to try to help them grow in the most positive direction and way that I possibly can, so they can be self-sufficient, respectable, respectful, responsible men, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying, out in
Yep.
society. Like, yeah, that's my biggest goal for them.
Yep. And it's a huge responsibility. To be able
Yeah,
to
it
do that
is.
is a huge responsibility. And some of us do our damnedest to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And but I mean, as big as responsibility, I wouldn't change a thing. You know,
Yes, sir.
wouldn't change a thing. You know,
Absolutely.
we got into a little bit of your come up when we first had you on, and I realized that the one thing that I never asked you. I mean, the name itself, I am God. Break it down for me. What's the whole thought process behind why you decided on that name?
So that happened out of necessity. I was using the phrase as a hashtag. Like it was like a part of a group of hashtags that I still
Okay.
use here and there. But it was always a hashtag that I was using when I came back to rap in 2020. And it
Okay.
always translated into I am getting ahead without devolving. So my name was actually T to God when I came back to rap in 2020.
Okay.
TTHEGAWD. Yeah. And God was
Okay.
always getting ahead without devolving. So I just put the I am on the front of it. But when I was trying to get T to God trademark, the I ended up coming across another T to God, but it was spelled TDAGOD. And
Oh
so
damn.
the trademark attorney was like, I will stay away from that. You want to prevent any potential future litigations that you possibly can. So I'm like, damn, like here it is. I just dropped my first project. It was a little after I dropped my first project before I dropped my second one. I'm just coming back after like 3 years away from rap, and here it is. I have to rebrand. Like I'm just starting to like
Mm-hmm.
rebuild some sort of following. So I was kind of worried about that, but I'm like, hey, if I got to, I got to. And I just got to
Yeah.
like thinking about names. And I was looking at that hashtag, like, you know what? It's controversial, it's a conversation starter, but more than that, it to me, it embodies power and it means something. Like it ain't too much that I do, whether we talking about music or in my personal life, that doesn't have a meaning to it. There's always some sort of method to the madness. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, and it really is, it's a lifestyle thing for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like what that means is I am getting ahead without devolving. We know evolution is it's not necessarily to get better. It's just to basically adapt to one's current surroundings, to the
Yes.
current environment, the climate.
Adapt to change.
Yes, absolutely. So,
Yes.
the opposite of that, devolving or de-evolution, is to lose those intangibles that you might need to survive in the current atmosphere. You know, in layman's terms, it's going backwards. You know what I'm saying? You basically
Yes.
you regressing. So I never want to regress or do anything against my ethics and my morals and what I feel like I stand for as a man to get ahead. So that's why I am getting ahead without devolving. I'm not going backwards to take a step forward, a step or two forward. I have to be able to look myself in the mirror and be proud of and comfortable with the man that I see. Like I don't do anything that messes with my spirit, with my inner peace. Like I'm real big on that. Like I have to be able to respect me before I expect somebody else to respect me. So that's a lifestyle thing first and foremost.
That's real.
Yeah,
That is that
absolutely.
is that is so real. And I think you've seen it, I mean, it's going on all around us where that regression is very much happening.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're surrounded by it. You know what I mean? We're trying to raise these boys up around it.
Hmm.
But it's
Absolutely.
what it's a larger question. I get that, but I can't help but wonder, like, why do you think all this regression is like we should be moving forward with every generation. Technically, that's how humanity evolves, right?
Absolutely.
Each generation improves over the last. Why does it feel like that's not happening?
I think there's a number of factors. I don't think you could point to just one thing, but a lot of it, in my
Yeah.
opinion, has to do with media. And whether you want to talk
Mm.
about the news, whether you want to talk about social media, I think
Hmm.
it's large in part to social media. And just, like my generation not necessarily providing the best examples. I mean, I
Hmm.
don't blame nobody because when you young and dumb, it's like you don't know what you're doing. You just
No,
going
no,
through
no.
life the best
Yeah,
way
you
you
just
know
doing.
how. So
Yeah, you just
yeah,
doing.
and a lot of us come from structureless environments, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And the little
Yeah.
structure we do have, we tend to break away from it as soon as we get a chance because it feels too restrictive, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like it feels like you missing out on something. I know that's how I was. I grew up in a single mother household, two younger siblings, but my mama really had a tight grip on me in my early days. Like I couldn't leave off the back porch. I couldn't leave off the front porch. I could only go down the street when I got a little older. I had to be
Good on
in by a
her.
certain time of night. Yeah. So
Good
when
on her.
yeah, absolutely. But when I finally got of age, it was like all that went out the window. And it's
Yeah.
like I got super
Exactly.
rebellious. And it was like I started feeling myself, so to speak. So I just feel like, with social media, like just take social media for example. Like it's crazy. Like, and like I said, like I have a crazy affinity for women. You know what I'm saying? Like I love women, like the beauty
Hell
of a
yeah.
woman.
All
But it's
day.
kind of like it's like, God damn, how much ass shaking can what I'm saying you see before it started to get old? Like, at least for me, I can't speak for no other man, but it's
Nah,
like
I
I
feel
love
you.
to see a fat ass move and what I'm saying, a pretty face and all that. You know what I'm saying? I love to see that. But it's at the same time, it's kind of like I feel like when anything becomes oversaturated, it's a bad thing. I don't think
For
I,
sure.
I live out a phrase too much of anything is a bad thing. And I don't care what it is. They go for
Oh, bare
money,
facts.
that go for sex, that go
Yep.
for love, like whatever. Too much of anything is a bad thing because it can become suffocating. It can
Exactly.
become overbearing. And we all like overstimulated like a motherfucker in some sort of
Yeah.
way, and probably more ways than one. Whether it's some sexual shit, whether it's just some entertainment type shit, whether it's
Yeah.
like whatever. We have access to so much, you know what I'm saying, information, so much data, so many visuals, so many experiences, you know what I'm
This thing
saying,
right
via
here.
social media. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm victim
That's it
of it.
right
Like
there.
my phone stay in my hand. My phone stay in my hand. Like I'm currently trying to
Guilty.
like, yeah, I'm currently trying to get back into like reading. I got a few books I need to crack open since I bought them. I ain't cracked them open yet, but it's just like, man, like it's a lot, man. There's so many influences, and especially when
Yeah.
like parents is allowing technology to raise they children as like
Yeah.
very small children, like that's an issue,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Because you don't know what they taking in all the time. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Like especially with the tablets.
absolutely.
Some kids have it like,
Absolutely.
I mean, that do you, your parenting your child, do you, right?
Right.
But I mean, do we want to be giving tablets to children that young though?
And at the same time, I get the like I get the how people don't want to be told how to raise raise their child, but you gotta understand, your child is one day gonna be an adult that we have to share space with.
Exactly. Thank
Like,
you.
put some effort into raising a productive, understanding, emotional stable person. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if you know you grew up emotionally unstable and in an emotionally unstable environment and just an unstable environment period. I know I did. Like, I'm still trying to put my pieces together mentally and emotionally, yet
Oh yeah.
unlearning a lot of shit. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah.
So it's like, to be cognizant of that is like half the battle. You know what I'm saying? And then you can take the steps necessary to like try to make those changes that you know need to be changed. Like, try to alleviate some of the shit that you had to go through, that you were subjected to, and swap it out for something more productive for these shorties. Because
Yeah.
again, like, these gonna be one day adults that have to, you know what I'm saying, like, walk this earth and interact. And like,
Exactly. Thank
we
you.
see how fucked up shit is right now. So it's,
Straight up.
I get it. Like, raise your child how you raise your child, but be cognizant of like the world. They have to share this motherfucker, and if they out here
Exact.
tearing
Oh
shit
my.
up, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, hey, man.
And that's dog. I think that's the problem is people aren't thinking wide enough. They're only thinking their immediate like block,
Right.
basically. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They're not thinking like the wider about your you put it. I couldn't put it any better. You are raising someone who's going to interact with the rest of the world when they're an adult.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's important, man. Because like, it's funny because like when we used to go out, like when I was with my kids' mother, we used to go out as a family or whatever, and we always get compliments like, "Wow, your kids are so well behaved," and "Woo out the bam," and I'm
Nice.
like, "Cause they know, like, it's a
Hmm.
big pun line from what's the name of the joint? Parental Discretion. I think it was the last song of Capital Punishment. And he end a verse by saying, "My kids don't do as I do, they do as I say, because daddy don't play." And I live by that. It's like, I
Yeah.
have my flaws, but that don't mean you have to do what I have to do. And as I got
Yeah.
older, I tried to, like, you know, curb my enthusiasm,
Right.
so to speak,
Exactly.
to not
Yeah.
put it in their face. But it's like, I don't play that we in public and you jumping around on the couch or you running around the vicinity. Sit your ass down. Like, act like you have some home training, and when we get up
Thank
out of here and get
you.
back to the crib, you can unwind. So it's like, I don't be with all that. Like, I need. I'm not like a military dad, but like my
Not at
kids,
all.
they know, like, okay, they do get on a little BS when they out of my sight, but it's like, that's kids, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
when I'm around, like, they know they gotta tighten up, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not gonna accept anything less. Because that's a reflection on me. And you know, like, I already look a certain way, which I'm comfortable with. But when I go into certain environments, whether it be a school or whether it be whatever, I know I could be potentially be getting judged just off my appearance alone. So
Yeah.
you're not gonna make us look crazy because you want to have to act.
Exactly.
Like,
Thank
nah,
you.
we're not doing that.
Because you know what you're thinking when you see that, them children wilding and with their parents
Absolutely.
doing shit all right. You know what you're thinking as
Absolutely.
you're walking by.
I wish the fuck you would. You better tighten up. It's not happening. Hell no. Nah.
God damn.
Nah, we're
It,
not doing that.
it's funny because this regression we've been talking about is very reflective when it comes to the music industry as well.
Absolutely.
What do you think is going on? Why are we seeing that regression in the industry?
I think bullshit sells, and I think America historically has always romanticized some sort of criminal element, sex,
Yes.
um, just like
The
all the
outlaw.
vices. Yeah, all the vices that you can name. I feel like America historically has always romanticized that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you can you can now invest in this, broadcast it to the world, and monetize it. And a lot of it is really trauma. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's kind of
Yeah.
like, it's
It is.
nasty, but it's just an investment to some of these to these people who perpetuating this shit. And excuse me, like, some of the artists, like, they may or may not know better. I feel like it's one part of my brain that want to say, how could you not know better? But at the same time, when you young, like, I'm thinking from my
Yeah.
39-year-old self, like, I
Yeah.
can't expect a 25-year-old to, like, be aware of everything that I'm aware as a 39 year
Yeah.
old grown man. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
they may not know no better, but it's sad, you know what I'm saying? Because they throwing a lot of money at this shit, and it's kind of like you can't really tell them nothing now. You know what I'm saying? Because they get into it. So it's like that's everybody's ultimate goal: get to a bag, get to a bag, get to a bag. And most people was willing to get to that bag doing whatever they got to do, and that's why that I am God shit is so important for me because I see a lot of what's going on as de-evolution or devolving. You know what I'm saying? And I just would not you couldn't put a gun in my head and make me partake in a lot of this shit. Like I just have to be up out of here. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
wouldn't sit
Yeah.
right with my soul, my spirit.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Like it's in the words of the homie Andreas Haley, it's nasty outside, man.
Yeah.
It's nasty outside.
Well, one thing that I can definitely say without a doubt is that one thing that is not devolving is your ability on the pen, sir. This new
Gratitude. That's
album.
gratitude.
Woo! City of
Gratitude.
God. White.
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to
Sheesh.
homie Ill City, aka Master Ill
Yeah,
on the production.
I was just about to ask you. First of all, salute. Yes, most definitely. The production is so live.
Absolutely.
The textures that are going. Is it Ill City or is it Master Ill?
So his name is Ill City, but just the way
Okay.
he set up his streaming is he's master ill on streaming platforms. Like I
Okay.
don't know what happened with the name, but namesake his namesake is Ill City, but
Ill
just for
City.
streaming
Okay.
it's Master Ill. Yeah, and his also his social media is Master Ill as well.
Okay.
Like,
Well, Ill City salutes. Yo, salute. Another banger. I mean, he did work with Rufus Sims. He did work on this record with
yeah,
you.
that Ill Dirty
Damn.
Rufus, like he on the streak right now, definitely a kill streak. Shout out to bro now.
How did you and Ill City come together?
Man, I've been trying to get with Ill City. Well, actually, we've been in contact, but I was trying to get at Ill City for a minute through Rufus, back when Rufus Sims was Weasel Sims. Shout
Weasel
out, bro,
Sims.
because they
Yes,
was
sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
they was doing a lot of work together. And
Okay.
when I first clicked up with Weasel, you know what I'm saying? I'm hearing his music, and I'm like, damn, what was that? And he was like, "Oh, that's the bro Ill City." You know what I'm saying? Like he
Mm,
cold. And I'm like, "Yeah, you got to plug me." And I ain't even asked him. He offered. He's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna plug you." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Yeah, definitely do that." And we actually started working on City of God in like 2022. But
okay.
you know how things happen. It's kind of
Oh yeah.
like attention spans, and like the creativity goes elsewhere, and
Yep.
and we going through things as adults. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it's like life just happened basically.
Oh
So it's
yeah.
kind of like, but I definitely wanted to spin a block and actually put that into the world, put that into existence. So the end of 2024, you know what I'm saying? We clicked back up, and I just started knocking them out. And by the beginning of like 2025, we was finished with it.
And that's I think some people take for granted that artists have this this ability and this basically this mind for being able to create, put it away for X amount of time frame, come back to it, add to it, maybe put away for another time frame, come back to it. Do you know what I'm saying? That
Absolutely.
and I feel like that's something artists sometimes take for granted. That's not something anyone can just do.
No, no, not at all.
You'll have X amount of albums, going at one time in various
Hmm.
stages. Do you know what I'm saying? And the ability to be able to tap into your creativity and then
Right.
put out, put out, put out for each project. I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of artists underestimate the fact that that is a gift that not many people share.
It's overlooked because everything is so microwave ready. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Yeah.
only paid attention to for a week, maybe two. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If you're a little more
Short attention
popular,
spans.
yeah, maybe a few weeks up to a month. And it's like we so quick to move on to the next thing these days. And that's what I meant by
Yeah.
like the overstimulation of everything. It's just so much available to us. You know what I'm saying? So it's unfortunate for artists like me, you know what I'm saying, and like the bros too, because we actually put in time, effort, hard work, and dedication into our music.
Yes,
You know what I'm
sir.
saying? Like
No
it's
lies.
it's it's stick to your ribs, like it's content. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just album or EP full of random songs we did. Like we actually crafting this, and sometimes I feel away when it's like it's here today and it's gone tomorrow because
Oh yeah.
I'm not the most lyrically dense MC on the face of the planet, but you can't tell me you listen to any project of mine for a few days and you took in everything that I'm trying to give you,
Nah,
and now
nah.
you're ready to move on to the next thing.
That
So I
no.
miss that era when like you could sit with an album for a whole year because I'm one of them artists. That's who told me. You know what I'm saying?
As
So
it
I'm one of
should
those,
be.
yeah, I'm one of those lyrically dense artists to where like it's a lot there. You know what I'm saying? You hear it, you know what I'm saying, and you just taking it in, but are you listening to it? You know what I'm saying? So, but it is what it is.
Yo, thank you for saying that. I think that that's another thing that's taken for granted.
It
That
is.
music is an art, and art is meant to be taken in over a long period of time.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
discover something new every single time, and I don't care if it's music, if it's painting. You know what I mean? Like people always discover something new every single time, and that is how meant is art is meant to be consumed.
Yeah. Like, for example, like with the movie centers, you know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
never go see movies in a theater more than once. I paid to
Hmm.
see that movie 3 times. And
Ah, there you go.
every
Yeah,
time I picked up something else in the movie, it's like
it's
you
worth it.
can't, yeah, you can't just take in everything in one setting. Like
No,
it's
no,
impossible. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't even think us as humans we have the brain capacity to do so. Like we would have to be working with both sides of our brain, and we know that
exactly.
a large majority of us, if not all of us, work off one of the other side. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like it just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it's unfortunate. It's definitely unfortunate.
Well, the craftsmanship on City of God is apparent. It's right there. I like how you're able to give a little bit of that double time flow, here
Yeah.
and there, along with your usual, smooth baritone flow. I was really
Hmm.
appreciating you going double time a couple of times there, and I was like, okay, he's flexing.
Yeah, gratitude. Absolutely. Gotta let them know Chicago ain't never forgot how to rap. We do that very well. Shout out to Twister, Shauna, Do or Die.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying? All the
hey.
OGs, snipers, you know what I'm saying? Triple darkness. Like we do that. We do that well.
And you know how to kick that double time flow still, guy. Damn.
Yeah, crucial conflict.
Jeez.
Right. I mean, shit, Cap One, shit, KM is so many of us, you know what I'm saying? Past, present, and future.
And present company included. Do not sell yourself short, sir.
No, absolutely. Yeah. I'm I'm just happy to be ad known and be a part of the lineage, you know, because we
Yeah.
have a rich history like of music in general. But when you're talking about, you know, hip hop in Chicago, like I don't feel like we get our just due. Like I feel like we get overlooked a lot because we kind of like in the middle and yeah, we a melting pot and we take cue from over here and we take cue from over there and we take cue from down there. So but yeah, like Chicago, we always had that shit, like regardless of what the genre is.
When I was listening to the album, right, I was taking it in, and you were delivering basically what I was expecting.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, cool. This is what I was expecting. This is what I wanted. This is why I'm consuming it. Gravy. But then I get to Living Nightmares, and by the end of Living Nightmares, I'm like, who the fuck is he talking about? I need to know who are we talking about here? Because this
It's
is
just a
this is
fictional
this
story.
is a, this is a fictional story, but it's based on a person composite of people.
It was inspired by I was watching the 50 Cent show BMF real heavy. And
Okay,
it's a
okay,
character, what's the character's name, man? I can't remember his name, but the dark skinned brother that's into it with like Meech and Terry all the time. You know what I'm
okay,
saying? Like,
okay.
so that character is like based on him. So basically, a
Okay.
old school gangster that come
Yeah.
home from jail and things is different. You know what I'm saying? He didn't spent a decade plus. You know what I'm saying, behind bars, and he coming home to a whole new world. And I just used the backdrop of Chicago, so we all know like all of the old school guys, the old heads, whatever you want to call them, the OGs, they either dead, locked up, or strung out
Mm,
somewhere. So
mhm,
it's literally anarchy in the streets. The shorties running.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
if it is still Chiefs running around, they ain't no older than maybe 30. You know what I'm saying? Like if that,
yeah.
you know, so maybe a little older, but you know, it's like OG come home from doing 10 plus and come home to a whole new world, but he's
Yeah.
still on his bullshit. But he got
Yeah.
this new element, which is the shorties now. So little dudes that he might knew when they was running around in Pampers, like they on a block now, and he trying to
Yeah.
get himself right. So he stepping on their toes, and they stepping on his, and it's
Yeah.
just all out chaos. And he end up, you know what I'm saying, getting the short end of the stick from being too out of touch and still thinking that he can get away with his old ways, not really realizing it's a whole new world out here. Like these shorties ain't going for that.
I'll be honest, dog. I'm glad that that was the origin of that. I'm
No
glad that
gratitude.
I'm glad that no one in your family or in your circle, you know what I'm saying? I was like,
Yeah,
damn. Because I
yeah,
mean, that was, you went there. So I was like,
yeah,
damn,
absolutely.
sincerely
I
hope.
really take cue from like Nas and Biggie when I go into storytelling mode. I think those are no disrespect to like Slick Rick, you know what I'm saying, or nobody.
Mm-hmm,
Much love to Scarface. I gotta throw Cube in there. I think
mm,
Biggie, Nas, and Cube is like at least they
mm.
my top three storytellers of all time when we talking about rap. And I gotta throw Face in there too. So that'll be like it's almost blasphemous leaving Slick Rick out, you know what I'm saying? But that was prior to, you know what I'm saying, me taking in hip hop. I was probably only like 2, 3 years old. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So much love and respect to Slick Rick.
Yeah.
But see, when I do shit like this, Slick Rick's class, I don't put them in top fives. I feel like that's disrespectful. Like the Big Daddy Kanes, the
Yeah.
Rakims, the Slick Ricks, the KRS
That's like
Ones, the
upper
Cool G
echelon shit
Raps.
right there.
That's icon. Like they get
Yeah.
icon status from me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they
Exactly.
above a top five. They started this
Exactly.
shit. They the reason
Yep.
why we talking about top fives.
Say it
So it's
again.
like it's no disrespect to Slick Rick at all, but as far as
Not at
like who
all.
my ears was listening to, who was teaching me, I would have to say Nas, Big, absolutely Ice Cube, and I'll throw Scarface in there. You know what I'm saying? I really
Yo, do
take cue from them when I tell stories.
you remember the first time you heard America's Fairy Tale?
Mm,
I was like, fuck, he did that.
yeah,
I
man. Like
was like, Cube, I
shit.
was not expecting that.
Yeah, man. For me, my whole Cube, like I already knew who Cube was. Like as a
Yeah.
shorty, I can remember seeing like the Straight Outta Compton video, Express Yourself video. We
Yeah.
all in the same gang. But I really didn't get on Cube until like he was already West Coast Connection, like Friday. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
96, 95, 96, that era. But when I went back and did my homework, like hearing Death Certificate for the first time,
Woo.
that shit was crazy. Like
That
that's one of
certificate.
my favorite albums of all time. That's up there with Illmatic. That's up there with Capital
Straight up.
Punishment, Adrenaline Rush, It's Dark and Hell, It's Hot, Reasonable Doubt. I put that CD, I put that album right there with those classic joints. Even though it's not his debut, but still, it's
Mm-mm.
like that shit. Like Death Certificate is crazy. Like my summer vacation, like come on, man. Like it was so effortless, and it was so effortless
Yes.
with Cube. Like it wasn't even. It didn't sound like he was even trying hard. Like
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like I wish that I was born 10, 15 years earlier, and I could have like came up in that era. Like I probably would have been 10 times better because it was so much inspiration and
Yes.
competition. Like that would have
Competition. That's
drove
it
me
right there.
insane.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah.
man,
Now,
like
death
man.
certificate. I think too many folks when they start compiling these top fives and top tens all the times, death certificate is like always. You know what I'm saying? Not enough people are mentioning death certificate because that was a damn good and groundbreaking album when it dropped,
Absolutely. Death
and it
Certificate is some of
scared
the
people.
best. Death Certificate is like my spirit animal, man, because like you got lyricism,
Mm,
you got the socio-political commentary from
yes.
unapologetically black perspective. You have the first-hand experience reporting from the environments we grew up in. You have the storytelling. You got the jams, the slaps that's banging. Like Steady Mobbin' is one of my favorite songs of all fucking time.
Oh,
And
jeez.
then you got the cohesion of like the skits and like the
Yep.
skit, I forgot what it's called, with the Jimmy Hat skit, like with
Yeah.
the Jimmy Hat is rapping, like that shit remind me of like an episode of what's the shit that used to come on PBS? Like I can't remember this shit, but they remind me of like something like that. I'm like Cube and what was it, Bomb Squad? They was in a bag, man.
Yes,
Like that
yes.
shit is incredible. Like that shit is. Was it Bomb Squad on Death Certificate or was that DJ Pooh? I think that
I
might have been
think
DJ
I
Pooh.
I think it was more of his lynch mob crew
Yeah, I
that
think that might have
that
been
helped
DJ
out on
Pooh.
that
I
certificate,
think
which is
Bomb Squad was like Kill It Will. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Kill It Will and the first record.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was
America's most
most
wanted.
wanted. But it
Yeah,
was dope to hear his crew show out though. They
absolutely,
repped
absolutely.
they repped him proper.
And Pooh gets slept on too. Pooh don't get enough
Oh
credit,
yeah,
West Coast or otherwise. Because I think Death Certificate was a lot of DJ Pooh. Like, and man, like that
and
that album
Pooh's
is
got his
incredible, bro.
fingerprint on a lot of shit too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh
That shit
yeah,
is incredible. I love Death Certificate.
man. I remember like we'll get off Death Certificate, but I just have to the cover art, the fucking cover art, Uncle Sam.
With the toe tag.
Oh my, and just Cube Scout. You know that Cube Scout, just like
Yeah. Cover and he like
God
the white
damn.
sheet is like the what is it,
Yes.
the American flag or the Confederate flag? I know it's one of them.
Jeez,
But
man.
like,
Like,
yeah, the whole and that's what I mean. Like that
woo.
whole era, like everything was a part of the overall concept. Nothing was sporadic or out of
Yep.
place. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Everything was part of the concept. Like that shit cold, man. Like that shit cold.
Well, I see you've learned your lessons still because I see some of that in your work, in your marketing, in your branding. Obviously, you went to school and you learned the lessons.
Absolutely. I wish I could do more, but I gotta work with the resources I got at my
Exactly.
disposal because it take a lot of money to do this at the level that I would like to do this to.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, I just don't have that type of backing. So it's kind of like I feel like I'll do a decent enough job with what I have at my disposal. But
Oh yeah.
man, like the day that I ever get some like real funding or backing to help, you know what I'm saying, put my vision out, yeah, yeah, I'll just leave it at that, man. Because
Come move.
I have
Just move to Canada. Just move to Canada.
hey,
I told you last time.
they be
Come
hard
get
on
that
the
grant
convicted.
money.
They be hard on the convicted felons. I don't know. I might not even be able to get past the border.
Okay, the border is really fucked up right now, so we won't even talk about the border. Yo, it's such a pleasure to get you back on, man. I'm so glad that you're able to come back on and you're down to come back on because, like I said, when when I first caught wind of you, when like you listen to a lot of music, right? So much music, and my music consumption is 24/7. So
Right.
damn, you know what I'm saying? But I personally feel blessed when I encounter an artist that makes me want to follow that trajectory. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a gift to me. So it's like, yo, thank you because you are doing art that I want to fuck with. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's gratitude. That's big gratitude. I appreciate that.
Real, real. Uh
Yeah.
have we got anything upcoming to further promote the album in terms of singles or visuals, or are we already working on the next project?
So we definitely working. Unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to execute none of the visuals of City of God how I would want to do them.
That's
But
fair.
there's always new music in the tuck. I've been kind of teasing stuff here and there. But yeah, definitely got more music coming. I got a couple projects that's like already ready in the stash. It's about trying to put some strategy and doing some plan, plotting, and strategizing now, and trying
See
to
that?
actually make something happen. Instead of just releasing music just because I got it. So, and that's new for me. I don't like to sit on music. Once it's done, I like to put it out. But
Right.
I got a few collaborations going with uh with some people who know better. You know what I'm saying? So I trust their vision. I trust the
There you go.
process, and
There you go.
and it's kind of like you just gotta be a team player. You gotta play ball. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta strike when it's time to strike. And I'm a firm believer in everything happening for a reason anyway. So I definitely got music in the tuck. I'm super excited about the most recent music I've been working on. Shout out to the homie
Okay.
International MC, another
Okay.
producer out of Chicago, dope producer out of
Okay.
Chicago. Like we got an EP that's I don't know when it's coming. It's not done yet, but we like 5 joints in, and I'm aiming for 7.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
like it's definitely music in the works though. I got some shit that's ready with the homie Maker Beats. Shout out to Maker. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
yeah, we got music, but at this point, it's kind of like I gotta start putting things in perspective to where it makes sense, and not just be releasing music just because I got music that's ready to be put out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. You see that? Learned his lessons. Check it out.
Absolutely.
Learned his lessons. Oh yeah. Well, you
Got
know,
to. Can't bump your
when
head the same way every time.
you can't, you really can't. That's not how
Yeah,
we learn. That's not how we learn.
absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well, you know, you're coming back when the next project drops. You know that.
Absolutely.
And if
Absolutely.
you like whomever you're collaborating with, we'll bring them in too, and we'll chop it up.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. I'm always willing to share, because that's why it's always I am God and anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's like none of my projects has ever been just I am God because like
Yeah.
I just wanna, I wanna make sure that these producers get as much shine and a fair fanfare as they possibly can. Like it might be an artist that hear they shit and want to work with them. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And
Yep.
that's really finna could do something for them that I can't do and shit. If I could help make that happen, shit, why not? You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
Yeah,
Further
absolutely.
proof. Learned his lessons. Like that. Like that. Respect again, brethren. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you.
City of God is
Absolutely.
available on Bandcamp. Make sure you if you are hearing this, gentlemen, for the first time, go check it out on Bandcamp. Shit is fire.
Yeah, we got a few CDs left on Bandcamp. If you're interested in purchasing, the Bandcamp is so it's no mediocre, but just replace the O's with X's. So that'll be NXMEDIXCRE .bandcamp BANDCAMP.com.
Yer.
It's also streaming on all major platforms. So whatever you listen to, Pandora, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, you know what I'm saying? Is all over the place. I got some visuals out, not necessarily music videos, but like shout out to homie APJ Films. Like he got a media company in partnership with my homie Rufus Sims called Purple Box. So
Yeah,
we got a
purple
couple.
box.
Yeah, we got a couple Purple Box videos. Yeah, we got a Purple Box for intro, Way Too Easy. We got another Purple Box for the title track, City of God. And I did some a live performance with NFO Films, Never Falling Off. Shout out to homie Chase. Uh, I'm chasing. My bad, bro. Shout out to homie Chance. You know what I'm saying? But over at NFO Films, Never Falling Off, we did the joint change over there for
Hey.
they NFO film spotlight. So yeah,
Yo, Change is a
we got
dope
some
joint, by
content.
the way.
Gratitude. I
Can I
get
can I just say it's
a
a
lot of
dope
props
joint.
for that. Yeah, gratitude.
Oof.
Yeah,
Sick joint, sick joint.
yeah,
God damn.
gratitude.
All right, Brethren, until you get back in here again, okay? Respect.
Absolutely,
Take care.
man. I appreciate you having me, man. Take it
Oh,
easy.
you know we got you, dog. Peace
Yes,
to you and
sir.
your fam.
Peace, peace, love.